Today I am going to discuss about functional anatomy of your kidneys. Functional anatomy of your nephrons. You know you are a millionaires as far as nephron concerned. Your each kidney contain approximately 1.2 millions of nephrons. Your both kidneys contain 2.4 millions of nephrons. You are a millionaires. 85% of out of 2.4 millions of nephrons are called cortical nephrons. 85% of out of 2.4 millions of nephrons called cortical nephrons. Rest, that means 15% of nephrons are called juxtamedullary nephrons. Anyone tell me what is the difference between the cortical nephron and juxtamedullary nephrons other than the spellings? Spellings are different. For the spelling difference, you do not get any extra mark at the exam. If I cut your kidneys, yes, your kidneys, like this in the cross section, I can see outermost part is differ from innermost part. Outermost part differ from innermost part. This outermost part is called cortex. Cortex. This innermost part is called medulla. I can see it even macroscopically. If I go through microscopically, I can see some nephrons, majority part of some nephrons are present in the cortex. Very little amount go into medulla and come back, like here. Majority part of this nephron present in the cortex. Very little amount go into medulla and come back. This one is called cortical nephrons. 85% of your kidneys nephrons are cortical nephrons, like this. But some nephrons, major part present in the medulla, very little part present in the cortex. These are called cortical nephrons, not cortical nephrons. Juxtamedullary nephrons. Thanks for correcting it. These are called juxtamedullary nephrons. These are called cortical nephrons. 85% cortical nephrons, 15% are juxtamedullary nephrons. Now I am going to check microscopically what are the part of your nephrons. What are the part of your nephrons? Here your nephrons, it contain afferent glomerular arteries. This one is called afferent glomerular arteries. Blood will come from here to here. This one is afferent glomerular arteries. This one is efferent glomerular arteries. Blood will go from away from glomerulus. This one is called glomerular capillaries. Glomerular capillaries. Glomerular capillaries have very high pressure. How? It is in between two arteries. When coming to other capillary bed, one end contain arteries, other end contain venules in between capillaries. But when coming to glomerular capillaries, this end afferent glomerular arteries, this end efferent glomerular arteries, in between the glomerular capillaries. That is in between two arteries. Because of that, it contains very high pressure. The highest capillary pressure in your body is belong to glomerular capillaries. This one is called glomerular capillaries. This one is called basement membrane. Basement membrane. Glomerular basement membrane. This one is called glomerular capsule. Filtrate material coming to glomerular capsule. After that, the tube is little bit convoluted. Little bit convoluted. The proximal tube is convoluted. This one is called proximal convoluted tube, or PCT. This one is called loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. This one descending part of loop of Henle. This one ascending part of loop of Henle. So we are calling this part as descending limb of loop of Henle. Loop of Henle. This one is called ascending limb of loop of Henle. This ascending part, initial ascending part, is thin. So we are calling thin ascending limb of loop of Henle. From here to here. From here to here, thick. So we are called thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. The lowermost part is called, what is the name? Some book mention it as Herpenle. I don't know how to write it. Herpenle. This one is descending limb of loop of Henle. This one is Herpenle. This one is thin ascending limb of loop of Henle from here to here. From here to here, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. After that, your nephron tube is again convoluted. Initial part also contained convoluted, later part also convoluted. Because of that, we are going to call it as distal convoluted tube. Distal convoluted tube. This one, proximal convoluted tube. This distal convoluted tube go and connect into the collecting duct. This collecting duct receive several distal convoluted tube collection. From here to here, from here to here, here to here, here to here. Several distal convoluted tubule united together and produce collecting duct. This is the structural anatomy of your nephron. Structural anatomy of your nephron. Then come to functional anatomy. I already told you glomerular capillaries contain very high pressure. In addition to that, your renal tubule receive large amount of your cardiac output. Out of 20% of your cardiac output going to perfume your kidneys right now. If you have 5 liters of cardiac output, 5 liters into 20% mean 1 liter per minute blood going to your kidneys right now. Out of 1 liter, 600 is plasma. 600 plasma going to your kidneys right now. Out of this 600, 20% again going to filter into your Bowman capsule. That means 120 ml per minute going to filter into your Bowman capsule. You know, out of 120, 190 going to reabsorb. Only 1 milliliter per minute appear as urine. Only 1 milliliter per minute appear as urine. Such a huge amount going to reabsorb. Such a huge amount going to reabsorb. Otherwise, if all are going to remove, you have to drink 120 milliliter per minute all the time in order to restore your vascular system. You can't do anything. You have to drink water and water and water and throughout the day. Why? You are going to filter 120 milliliter per minute via your Bowman capsules. 2.4 millions of Bowman capsule is there. So, large amount of substance going to filter into here. 120 ml per minute. Not only that, large amount of molecule also going to filter. How large molecule going to filter? Except albumin. The molecule which have very smaller size lesser than albumin going to filter. Molecules lesser than albumin size going to filter. Albumin under normal condition not going to filter. What is the molecular weight of albumin? 66 kilodalton. Albumin molecular weight 66 kilodalton. The molecule less than 60 kilodalton can easily filter via your glomerular basement membrane and come into glomerular capsule. Here, from proximal convoluted tubule, you are going to reabsorb sodium, chloride, water, potassium, glucose, amino acid, bicarbonate, calcium and phosphate when presence of parathyroid hormone. Proximal convoluted tubule is the one going to reabsorb large majority of water and electrolyte. What are the electrolyte? Sodium, chloride, potassium, and in addition to that glucose, amino acid, bicarbonate, calcium and phosphate. When your fluid come into descending limb of loop of Henle, it is not permeable to electrolyte. It is not permeable to electrolyte, but it permeable to water. So water will start to diffuse out from your loop of Henle, descending limb of loop of Henle. Water will start to come out. From here to here, it not allow the water to go out. It not permeable to water. Your thin limb of ascending limb of loop of Henle, thin ascending limb of loop of Henle, not permeable to water, but it permeable to sodium and chloride. Thick one also same, not permeable to water, but it permeable to sodium and chloride. They are going to reabsorb sodium and chloride here. Here they are going to lose water. Here they are going to reabsorb electrolyte. Here you are going to reabsorb sodium and chloride. Here mean distal convoluted tubule. When coming to collecting duct, you can reabsorb sodium, you can reabsorb chloride and water. You are going to secrete ammonium ion, you are going to secrete hydrogen ion, you are going to secrete potassium into collecting duct. Here also you are going to secrete ammonia and serum creatinine into proximal convoluted tubule. You can secrete ammonia and serum creatinine into proximal convoluted tubule. You can secrete ammonium, hydrogen ion and potassium into collecting duct. I will repeat rapidly. Here your proximal convoluted tubule, it going to reabsorb sodium, chloride, water, potassium, glucose, amino acid, bicarbonate, calcium and phosphate. Going to reabsorb. Going to secrete ammonia and serum creatinine. Here your loop of Henle descending link, it going to reabsorb water, nothing else. Here your ascending limb of loop of Henle, it going to reabsorb sodium and chloride, nothing else. Here your distal convoluted tubule, it going to reabsorb sodium and chloride. Here you are collecting duct, it going to reabsorb sodium, chloride and water. It going to secrete ammonia, hydrogen and potassium ion into tubular fluid. Those are waste product. You have to remove. This is how your functional unit behavior. Thank you very much.